Chapter 4, The Early Romantic Era, Beethoven's Ninth.
Hey, we're getting pretty good at this.
I know. We're time travel extraordinaires.
We've moved forward in time again. I can tell. No more wigs to be found on these musicians. Hey, look at the orchestra. It's so big. There must be at least 100 players and lots more brass instruments. There are even a few instruments I don't recognize. But boy, you can tell this orchestra means business.
That's right. We've traveled forward to another glorious time in music. If I'm not wrong, we've landed in 1824 at the beginning of the Romantic era. You're looking at a much larger orchestra, capable of a greater variety of tone colors. You probably don't recognize some of the new woodwind instruments, like the piccolo, English horn, contrabassoon, and bass clarinet. They produce some really interesting sounds and are permanent members of the orchestra of the Romantic era.
Yuck! A whole era dedicated to sloppy love songs? I don't think I could stand being here for long.
Lionel, the music of the Romantic era was certainly passionate and breathtaking, but sloppy? Definitely not. Instead, think of big orchestras using an abundance of tone colors to paint musical pictures of fantasy and adventure. There's no way you can ignore the music written during this time. I'll bet anything that the music of the Romantic composers will grow on you, and you'll never be able to shake it off.
You know, I'd hate to admit it, but I kind of see your point already. I'm feeling kind of funny in the tummy just listening to this music. Like I've got butterflies.
Yeah, it really gets into your bones and fills up your whole body.
Indeed, and to think he couldn't hear a note of his own beautiful music.
Who?
The man you see conducting the orchestra, the one and only Ludwig van Beethoven.
Beethoven, yes, I've heard of him. But what do you mean, Maestro? He's conducting the piece right now. What do you mean he's never heard it?
Mr. Beethoven began to lose his hearing at age 19 and eventually became totally deaf. He never stopped composing, but can you imagine how he felt?
Awful!
Yes, for someone who had dedicated his life to music, he was devastated and often depressed and grumpy.
I can't imagine what going through something like that would feel like.
Perhaps you could imagine someone like Michael Jordan slowly losing his ability to run and play basketball.
I see exactly what you mean.
But how did he cope?
Beethoven was ingenious. He sawed the legs off his pianos and sat on the floor in order to feel the vibrations of the music. To his credit, he never gave up his love for composing.
Hey, listen! I know that tune. I've sung it at school and played it on my flute. Isn't it called Ode to Joy?
It certainly is, Lydia. That is the name of the poem that Beethoven used as words to accompany his Ninth Symphony. And that's what makes this particular symphony special. It is the only one in which Beethoven used a chorus.
You mean the singers? So that's why there are so many people standing behind the orchestra.
That's right. The combination of the orchestra and chorus makes this symphony something to remember. You know, I bet millions of people recognize Ode to Joy. Wouldn't it be wonderful to have your music known by people all over the world, even hundreds of years after it was written? Come on, you know the words. Do you feel like joining in? Let's move up into the chorus. Just blend in with the group and sing.
This is fabulous fun, but I think it's time to move on. Get ready with the pipes.
Chapter 5, Romantic Era, Berlioz's Fantastic Dream.
We've landed in someone's house. This doesn't feel right. Maybe we shouldn't be here.
Yes, maybe we shouldn't be here, but I'm not about to leave. I see a famous musician at work, and he's writing something magnificent right at this very moment.
What? Tell me what he's writing. I can't read his mind. How can I hear the music he's writing?
If you both concentrate very hard, you can enter the mind of the man, Mr. Hector Berlioz, and the world of his symphony fantastique. Concentrate, concentrate.
Whoa, this music is so romantic.
Yep, this sounds much different from Mr. Beethoven's music because we have raced a few years ahead in the Romantic era.
You know what you were saying about romantic music painting pictures of fantasy? It really sounds like Mr. Berlioz's music is trying to tell us something, to take us somewhere.
Yes, that's the best part about romantic music. It has the power to take you to other lands and times and portray wonderful stories. And Berlioz's music was extraordinarily imaginative.
Look, Mr. Berlioz is packing up. He looks really tired. Maybe he's off to bed.
Shh, quiet everyone. When we're sure he's gone to bed, I'm going to sneak a look at the music he's written.
Do you know the story about the music, Maestro? Do you know what it's all about?
I sure do, Lydia. Shall I tell you?
Yes, please.
Okay, gather round. But I warn you, Lionel, it's a love story.
I can take it.
Okay, the music begins with sounds of longing and loneliness. A young man wonders about the girl of his dreams. As he falls in love, intense feelings of love and passion are expressed in the music. Later, he meets his beloved girl again at a ball, where they dance a beautiful waltz together. Next, he is in the countryside, where the music describes two shepherds calling each other, and his girl appears again. Suddenly, one of the herders does not respond to the other. What could be happening? Does she not want him? Has she left him? He hears thunder in the distance, and the feeling of loneliness returns. Then, the young man has a terrible dream in which he thinks he has murdered his special girl. He is now being marched to the scaffold in order to be executed. The music is wild, and then somber, and wild, and then somber again. Suddenly, he has another dream. He sees himself surrounded by horrible witches, goblins, and monsters. Alas, His beloved girl has come to meet the witches. He can hear her cries and finally the bells of a funeral.
Oh, that's a really fantastic story. I don't suppose Symphonie Fantastique means fantastic symphony by any chance.
Yes, it does. It's in French. Hector Berlioz was French.
Well, I think I would just love his music. I'd do anything to hear it played by an orchestra.
You know, I might just be able to arrange that, Lydia. What do you say, Lionel? Lionel? Lionel?
Lionel, what are you doing? Where are you going? Come back!
Lionel, don't get too close to that painting.
Oh my goodness! He's disappeared! Help! Where did he go, Maestro? What's happening?
I have to be honest, Lydia, I don't really know. But I think we should follow him. Hold my hand. Let's walk slowly towards the picture. That's right. Just keep on walking.